Killbot 12. Yes, Killbot 7. Do you see the man on the slightly sloped roof? Yes. Ha ha. No, you don't. Ha ha. You are hilarious, Killbot 7. Keep the chatter to a minimum. Sorry, director. Ha ha. Keep it up. Seriously, keep it up. This is absolutely hilarious. It's the most ridiculous thing that I have seen in a long time. We now have people who were suspicious of the sweeping powers granted to the federal government just 20, 25 years ago with the Patriot Act, the Department of Homeland Security, the Secret Service having virtually unlimited power to kill anyone, anywhere, at any time based on any amount of evidence. They now want to make sweeping changes to the Secret Service, giving them far more power. And I know it sounds funny, but you're going to be the ones who are primarily responsible for the Praetorian Guards protecting the ruling class in Washington, D.C., being an insurmountable force created with your money. It was the first time anything like this had happened in nearly half a century. The Secret Service, it's charged with protecting all of the ruling class. All of them. All these congressmen, all these senators, Supreme Court justices, all these people. And it's been since Reagan. It's been since 81 that anyone's even tried. And now, because they failed in this one instance, this one time, now it is an opportunity to do sweeping changes. And I think that's what this woman knew, to be very honest. They are going to use this as an excuse to revamp that force in a way that makes them virtually impenetrable, undefeatable, and they're going to do it with your money. Some people think this is a joke. It's not a joke. With the advent of AI, with the advent of technologies, believe me, all of the preparations that you made for perhaps, the tree of liberty being refreshed, blah, blah, blah. What if it's coolant instead of being refreshed with the blood of tyrants and patriots? What if it's coolant or lubricant that can be easily replaced? Battlefield of the mind. This is one of those things that not a lot of people think about. Hey, us getting all outraged about the once in 40 years failure of the Praetorian Guard, the once in 41 years failure of the Praetorian Guard. Should we really be demanding there be massive sweeping changes, which is going to be about money? Make no mistake, it's going to be about tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars now, dumped into a force that is basically designed to take out the men on the sloping roofs, so to speak. You see, this particular guy, I'm sure you're not a giant fan of, but it may end up being somebody that you are. If you'd like to join us for, not tens of millions of dollars, but one single US dollar over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel, where we show the tactics and techniques that you need to employ in your daily life with your mind to be able to see truths like this. And I promise you, nobody is seeing this truth. Nobody is talking about this. Please show me another channel right now that is saying this investigation into the Secret Service is going to end badly for everyone. Show me one other channel that has brought up this particular aspect of this, how they're going to take this once in 40 years failure of the Secret Service and not use it to take away more freedoms, to restrict more ownership of weapons, to use this as the excuse necessary to give themselves more power. If you'd like to join us, the Florida Maquis Patreon channel, $1 single US dollar per month, even less if you sign up for an entire year, and fully refundable first 90 days, no questions asked. This is the best image that I could find to illuminate what's coming for a lot of people who falsely had a lot of hope for November. It's game over. Thank you for playing. It was only a couple of days ago, right when the announcement came out, when Biden gave his full support and endorsement to his vice president, Kamala Harris, nobody has seen the sea change except for people on the left. The first thing I warned about was a giant tsunami of money that was going to flow into that campaign, the Democratic campaign now. And what do we see now on 23 July 2024 at 3:05? Kamala Harris sets new fundraising record. The U.S. Vice President has raised more than $80 million in 24 hours. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has received $81 million in contributions in the first 24 hours since Joe Biden withdrew from the 2024 presidential race and endorsed her candidacy. Team Harris said it's the largest 24-hour raise in presidential history. 888,000 contributions from grassroots donors, 60% of them first-time donors. 60% of the 888,000 donations that they've gotten have come from people who have never given money to a presidential campaign ever. And they are right. The historic outpouring of support represents exactly the kind of grassroots energy and enthusiasm that wins elections. You see, this defeats the whole narrative from some in the Democrat Party saying that it's all the big money donors that are controlling everything. Not true. Not true. Trust me when I tell you, the next few months, you're going to see a lot of people looking at their phones and seeing things that they never dreamed of even just a few months ago. Florida Maquis, how can you say that? Donald Trump is so much more competent. He is so much more able to... I'm sorry. I thought we lived in a democracy where it's a republic. That's true. It's a democratic republic where you vote. It's a popularity contest. And haven't Trump supporters been saying for the last, 3.5 years that Trump really won? Trump was more popular than Biden. Trump was way more popular than Biden. Haven't you seen the rallies? Haven't you seen all the hats and all the signs? Where are all the Biden-Harris signs? That's a good point. That's a very good point to make. So you're alleging that it's a popularity contest. Okay? The new voters don't put signs in their front yards. That's how things were done in the 20th century. People would go out and put signs in their front yards. The people that are going to vote for her, they're a new breed. All of their promotion and support all exists online. They're not going to waste their money on something to go shove in the front yard where maybe a dozen people might see it. They're going to use Twitter, and they're going to use, or X, or they're going to use Instagram, or they're going to use TikTok, or they're going to use some other platform to put their digital sign in their digital front yard. See, you're not going to be able to judge this by hat wearing, or signs, or rallies. It's a new digital era. And it has never been about competency. It's about a popularity contest. Because if it was about competency, what we would do every 4 years is look at all of the governors of all the 50 states, and we'd say, okay, who has the most experience as governor over the most people? And we would then say, okay, those two people heretofore have had the most governing experience in the country. They are now going to be the representatives. But we don't do that, do we? We don't. It's a popularity contest. And if it comes down to a popularity contest between the old 80-year-old white man, Donald Trump, and the young, fresh-faced, good-looking to some female, person of color, liberal. It's not even close in a popularity contest. Besides, who also remembers all the way back to August of 2023, when this channel did a video talking about Kamala Harris and her role in giving all of these UPS drivers these massive raises. It's also going to be about money. This video was about how all of those raises, all of that extra money that these guys were going to be making, were going to be passed on to the American taxpayer. And I used a meme that, well, it offended a lot of little snowflakes. A lot of people who understand the internet understand the meme about the American taxpayer being the little white donut and what UPS was going to do to the taxpayer. And I'll just leave that there and let you figure it out. Now, there's another meme out there that I've been talking about that's offended a lot of people that is now going to be put into overdrive. And a lot of people think I was wrong. I'm wrong now. A lot of people thought I was wrong back in August of 2023. It has now come to pass. Even a few days ago, the first thing I said, and nobody else said, by the way, the first thing I said, and nobody else on the internet said, was that there would be this giant, record-breaking tsunami of money. And if you don't believe me, this is just from 2 days ago. And known it was coming, but make no mistake now, the tsunami of money that is going to roll in to support Kamala Harris is going to be breathtaking. If you think the amount of money that Elon Musk gave to Mr. Trump was a lot, just wait. Just wait. There are forces all around the globe that would love nothing more than to see Kamala Harris ascend the presidency. And now here we are 48 hours later when nobody was saying that, and now this is the case. It is a new fundraising record just in 2 days. Just in 2 days. So trust me when I tell you, when she ascends the presidency, and she will, it's about money, and Trump even knows it. There is going to be this massive push like no other. Now, if you're wondering what this meme is all about, this guy with his girlfriend who's, craning her neck over because this very attractive male of color, I guess for lack of a better term, to put this, walks by. It's based on this meme from a long time ago. Now, there's a psychological operation going on just in these two memes that I think is worthy of addressing. You see, in this is, of course, what's the image that you take away from this? Men are pigs, right? Men are pigs. You have this girlfriend who they're holding hands, and she's shocked and disgusted because her boyfriend sees this girl wearing a red dress and is, clearly, dressed a lot better than she is, and he cranes his neck over and he makes the little motion with his mouth and all this kind of stuff, and you can see his eye line is clearly kind of at a lower angle. The whole men are pigs thing. Now, people have used this for all sorts of different messages where, sometimes people wonder why I'm so fixated on dogs, or sometimes people wonder why, my responsibilities are looking at me like I'm crazy because I want to take a nap. Just about anything you'd want to describe. This was my personal favorite when they interviewed a bunch of women who thought erroneously, because of feminist misinformation online, that they would be safer if they were in the wild and they encountered a wild grizzly bear versus another human being who just happened to be male. And yes, it's feminist misinformation. It's feminist misinformation, but not to lose track of what's going on here. Look at this guy's eye line. Okay? Now look at this girl's eye line. Don't think that wasn't done on purpose. You see, here what they're trying to say is that this girl, well, you can't really blame her. This guy is objectively, he's dressed nicer and he's more attractive than the guy she's with. And he really shouldn't be so jealous. He looks like a total dork here. He looks like he's wearing a t-shirt and, he hasn't shaved or anything. And his beard's all scruffy. And, you really can't blame her. See, it's not the women are pigs, is it? It's not that women are pigs. It's that men are. See? See what they did here? See the game they played here? Make no mistake, this is going to be about feminism. When Kamala Harris ascends the presidency, believe me, this upper right from Saturday Night Live, this nasty woman, this was a dig at Trump. This was a dig at Trump, even back then. And they are doing everything they can online through every possible means they can to drive a wedge between any happy couples who are Europeans. They have a goal. They have a goal, and believe me, it's not something that you're going to believe when you see it. I talk about this a lot more at Patreon, and I'm going to try to elucidate this in a way that doesn't get me completely kicked off YouTube about this whole deal with, don't think OnlyFans isn't part of it. They are making it financially impossible for European men, European women to have families. But they're going to make it eminently more easy and more attractive if European women decide to choose non-European partners. Don't think this isn't the goal. They are trying to rewrite society and recreate society in a certain way. This is another meme that a lot of people understand. They don't, hint, hint, nod, nod, wink, wink. They understand it's, in and of itself, it's not inappropriate, but people know what it means. But what happens when you cross out, buy the dip, by the way, at the bottom, those of you who didn't understand that, it's about buying Bitcoin. Do anything and everything you can to get more dollars. Get more dollars to put into Bitcoin. That's what a lot of people in Bitcoin don't get. Is that all of Bitcoin's value comes from the amount of dollars people have put into it. Think about that for 1 minute. Bitcoin had no value until somebody took dollars and purchased it. But when you need money to, let's get rid of this. When you need money to make sure that you're not rounded up and put in a FEMA Walmart camp with mandatory vaccines and RFID chips, is it worth it then? Is it worth it then if you need the money to keep your car from being repossessed so that you don't end up being homeless because you can't go to work and end up in that same said FEMA Walmart camp? Money for groceries. When you need money to not be living in an outdoor homeless camp. Hey guys, I guess maybe on ladies too. When you need money to not sell your weapons and your ammunition just to feed your family or pay your electric bill. That electric bill that gives you the ability to have a hot shower and cold drinks. Or maybe even have enough extra money to provide a place where you might be able to go to bug out. When you need money to create a zombie survival sheet plan that includes beans and bullets and band-aids and all these other things that we have heard talked about for so long. To be able to survive with your survival group and have the ability to bug out to the wilderness and have all of the, accoutrements that you would need to survive, to be able to maybe get out of town before the robot roundups start, or in case some really true plague shows up and you need to get out of the suburbs, get out of the cities. When you need money to, and then put a colon, and then think about it. You see, that's what this was really all about. It's what it's always been about. One word. When you need the money to be sovereign. There's no such thing as moral slavery, is there? There's no such thing as moral slavery. Maintaining your sovereignty over your life is the ultimate form of morality. It's the morality that supersedes all other moralities. Maintaining your sovereignty. And I guess I'll leave it there. There was something else I was going to cover. I think I'm just going to drop it. I think we've gone far enough. Maybe I'll save it for Patreon, to be honest, because there's something coming, and a lot of people aren't seeing it. And I don't know that I can get away with going further into it here. But make no mistake, this is the goal. This is the goal. The current vice president, who's going to be president, Kamala Harris, she's in an interracial relationship. And if I'm not mistaken, Doug Emhoff is Jewish. And not that that necessarily should matter, but if you do a study on different cultures that are more predisposed and less predisposed to marrying outside their culture, Jewish people are very, very unlikely compared to other Europeans, other white people, to engage in interracial relations. It's just, and I'm not saying you should hate or you should like or you should dislike. It's just factually the case. And I think that's kind of a big deal. Because we also saw this daughter, the eldest child of Donald Trump, also married into a Jewish family. And I believe she converted. So, just saying, be careful what you wish for. Be very, very careful what you wish for. This is one of those things that you would need to be a thinking person to understand. The last time this happened, the last time there was a failure of the Secret Service, somebody help me out here. I'm going to guess Marjorie Taylor Greene was probably in diapers or not much older. Maybe she might have been in grade school. That's how long it's been. I think she's in her 40s. I think. She couldn't have been very old the last time this happened. That it's happened, once every, generally speaking, half a century? Given the amount of responsibility the Praetorian Guards have, the Secret Service, the Praetorian Guards, given the amount of responsibility they have for every living president, every living vice president, every presidential candidate, every member of Congress, every member of the Senate, all of the Supreme Court justices, and a laundry list of other people, that this happened this one time, and it's been 40-something years in between. Yeah, I mean, sorry. I'm not super excited about Killbot 7 and Killbot 12 being in charge, so to speak, of Washington, D.C. security. And this being the new director. Because that's what's coming. Mark my words. This is what's coming. I wasn't wrong about this. And I definitely was not wrong about this. So I will leave it there. Would definitely appreciate, humbly, your support over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel. I know it's tight for everyone. That's why it's only $1. It's the lowest allowable level that they will let me charge. And once again, it's fully refundable. First 90 days, no questions asked. Whether you sign up for the $1 a month level or you sign up for the annual, or it's less than $1 a month, same thing for the $5 folks. You sign up for the $5 a month level, sign up for the annual on the $5, it's less than $5 a month. It's all fully refundable in your first 90 days. No questions asked. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.